Morning, everyone. Again, I'm sorry for yesterday was technical issues with Zoom. So Bez Hashem, today will continue. So the Shmaya. So we have discussed last week, and we started yesterday to continue our share, our discussion for last week. That as we said, we repeated many times. I think we have to constantly repeat it. Every parent has to constantly repeat it and see the front of his eyes and accept that the Indian from Teichocha, the concept of Teichocha, of giving Musar to your kids, is not so much. It's important that the Teichocha should, very important. The Teichocha should contain positive words. That's the key words. Well, positive words. The aim should be words which will encourage and elevate the child and channel the child to behave more positive and more productive. But the far more important that the Teichocha should contain, besides the good words, also the good energy of calmness, serenity, content. When a parent or anyone releases that Teichucha, that musar for a child or for anyone who behaves not the way it's supposed to behave, it will have very, very, I would even say it will have a negative impact on the child, especially. Again, as I said many times, also the brain capacity of the child is not that wide, so the child sees the body language of the parent being upset and angry, although the parent saying good words, very productive, nice words, but the child cannot distinguish in his mind between the message and messenger. So the child highly focused on the messenger versus the message. So it's very important that the messenger, meaning the parent, when releasing that message of putting the child, setting up the child on the right track, it should be more of pleasant and calm manner, and it enhances, I would say, 80% of the energy. That what really gives that child the motivation and the understanding and make the child accept the words of the parent. The Rabbi Avraham Pam Zichron Livrucha wrote a sefer, Moired Tzedek, very small sefer, but it has a lot of important information, especially in regards to Chinoch Abonim v'Abonais. Rabbi Avraham Pam says as follows: sometimes the child, behaves very upsetting. It's upset at the way the child behaves, the way the child talks, the way the child does not learn, does not daven, does not just not behaving the way we think the child should behave. And of course, it sets the parent in a certain anger mode, and it becomes the resichas adams, the hormone starts to raise up, and the parents becomes upset. And the child, a lot of time it happens when the kids come to shul, and the kids run around and they just start to become hectic and become levidik, let's call it. So that it certainly knocks down the image of the parents, of the fathers are in shul. It's certainly very they get embarrassed. Or let's say the child, that's the small kids. So the child wakes up late to go to Shabbos davening. It happens by teenagers. It certainly knocks down the father's image and pride that his son comes to shul very late. It happens. It's a very common problem with the teenagers, but we'll have a special shir for that, how to approach that behavior. But certain behaviors the child does, it makes upset parents. A lot of times it makes upset parents not because they're really upset at the child, but they're really upset because the child certainly embarrassing them. Sometimes the mother can walk on the street with her son or her daughter, and all of a sudden they go to grocery, and the child desires something, and they start to scream, and it certainly causes certain humiliations and embarrassment to a mother, and this embarrassment ignites the mother to get upset at the child, and sometimes the usual behavior, the mother starts to scream or starts to use very sharp words against child. So anytime when a parent is in upsetting mode because the child calls them to be so, it's very important that it's not the time to give it to techucha. You don't musar anyone at the time when you're upset about someone. You don't give a musar to a child when you are upset at the child, because the Rabbi Pam is saying, because again, goes very much, he considers the psychological state of mind of the child, and he's saying that when you're releasing your message with the anger, what gives the most impression on the child is the anger of the parent, not the message what you're releasing. So this impression stays, and this impression sometimes can stay with the child for many years. Dr. Avraham Pam loy al kol avlot tzrichim lahage b'shas ma'ase or b'zman bekas. Not on each avla, not on each negative behavior will have to respond on the time when the parent is upset. The ein tzuri lo yichia al kol duva b'tkifus. We should not respond. We should not say musa to child b'tkifus, with a strengkeit, in a strict manner. For sometimes, Dr. Avraham Pam, a hechrech lechakois ktsas. Sometimes a parent must wait a little. First wait, and after I just came back, just take a deep breath, and afterwards give the techucha. Kol techucha. Now comes a very important yisoid for Avraham Pam. Kol techucha. Any techucha, afili tiyah techucha achit toiv shebeolam. Any techucha can be the best techucha, which contains the best keywords in the world. The best keywords in the world. Im himetoich hakas im musukenes nooid. If this techucha was released with the kas, it's a big threat for a child's well-being. Why? Haroishim shalakas. Because the impression the child gets of seeing the angry parent giving the techucha, it disputes the message. The state of the messenger, the state of the parent who is angry, it's so powerful, takes over and disputes the message the parent released. A gewaltige yisoid. He's saying that the techucha, even the best techucha in the world, which contains the most loving expressions, most loving words, most caring words, if this techucha being released with the kas, with the anger, it will dispute completely the words. Because the energy was far more powerful than the words. So it's very important, Rabbi Avraham Pam saying, before you release it, to be aware of this concept, to know that right now you are because you anger at the child, whatever the reason will be why you anger, but right now you anger at the child. So right now you are potter. You should right now when you anger the child, your techucha will not be productive. Your techucha will not bring any kind of positive results, but opposite, it will bring negative results, because when a parent is angry and he's releasing with that anger energy, the hook contains that anger energy, it completely disputes the caring words we try to tell the child, and the impression, the only one impression sticks to a child and ingrains in the child's subconscious and consciousness is the seeing his parent being angry, in condemning and criticizing, putting down the child. it's not it's the, I would call, the radiation of this negative energy on behalf of the parent will take far the child. Meaning to say, a lot of times we see that there is very capable young people that they're simply not being able to being productive in the life because of their, because they're physically, mentally, they have good ideas and good, they're physically, they're strong, but internally they're completely diminished, they're completely broken. Sometimes the big core with the big cause of it, because they were under attack, and as a child, as being a child, so it prevented them to develop, to prevent them, so the brain gets developed and brain capacity gets wider, so they're able to operate in their life as adult. And that's the rule. Not only rule in psychology, lahavdil, a rule in Torah they give. In anyone who was raised under criticism or under down talk attacks or humiliation or degradations will have the brain capacity just stays, locks up the brain capacity and not letting it to grow. So we'll call it like a small brain. Sometimes we see a person of 35 years old, 40 years old, but his brain capacity is like a 10-year-old, because that criticism, that degradation attacks that he was raised under, just certain put the pose in his life, so he's not able physically, although he grew, but mentally he did not. It certainly needs this kind of people need a lot of help to be able to be productive in their life. So it's very important. If you want, if a parent wants the child, first, if you want, your techuka should encourage the child, motivate the child to go ahead and correct his action, to correct whatever he or she did in past. It's very important to release, to be focused, to be in tune with your current mood. If you currently upset and angry child, don't say a word. Don't say a word. The techuka will provide the child the education, the encouragement, the motivation, only if the techuka was released when a parent is innerly calm and innerly has that serenity mood. Then the techuka will accomplish whatever it needs to accomplish, but otherwise not. So it's very important message. So how should we say the techuka? There's interesting pasuk in Torah, the Chofetz Chaim Bedaika, gewaltige dig in the pasuk. Here, the Yitzchak sending Yaakov to get married. Now, the Yitzchak is if Yitzchak is not accepting the Bnei Canaan. He's not accepting. He does not want Yaakov to get married to a female from Canaan. So it's very common sugi of shidduchim. Now the Yitzchak, it's giving certain musar to Yaakov, so trying to encourage him and prevent him to get married, to take a girl from Canaan. So the Apostle says as follows: Vayikra Yitzchak el Yaakov vayavurech oisoi. He blessed him, he benched him. Vayitzavei, he asked him, commanded. Vayomer loi, loi sigach ishi v'nois Canaan. Don't take a girl from Bnei Canaan. Chofetz Chaim has a gewaltige dig with this pasuk. Chofetz Chaim very, he picks on the word. He picks on one word in this pasuk. Chofetz Chaim says that one word in this pasuk looks extra. The pasuk vayivorech. Vayikra Yitzchak el Yaakov vayivorech oisei. Et him gebench, blessed him. Chofetz Chaim is asking about the kasha. Why the Yitzchak need to bench him? What's the bracha? Why he needs to bench? Why need to bless him? So Chofetz Chaim is saying as follows: the pasuk Yitzchak Avinu want to discover for the daughters, for his grandkids, to us, to 2021, 2022 parents, how to properly encourage the child, how to properly prevent the child, and how to guide the child to go on the right path in life. That when you call the child, first by first bench him, first bless him, first express your feelings, how much you love him, how much you care for him, how much you want him, how much you desire your child, how much you drool over the child, and how much you appreciate your child. First, bench him. Bench him in, just surround the child, envelope the child with your love and how to him. And afterwards, release your guidance to a child. Torah is giving us a dugma, example. If a parent wants to influence on the child, you want to prevent your child to follow the derech hatoim, the ways of people who are, evil people. You should not do it with the anger manner. You should not approach with the anger manners. Because when you approach, when you're trying to prevent the child not to follow the evil ways, it with the anger manner, usually Chofetz Chaim is saying you encourage the child to do opposite, to yego, to follow the evil ways and to be evil. That's how the Yitzchak approached Yaakov. Vayikra Yitzchak Tchila, at the beginning, Yitzchak want to educate Yaakov, want to set him up on the right path. He should follow with derech tzaddikim. He should follow derech tzaddikim and be on the right track in life, the right path in life. Tchila Vayikra Yitzchak al Yaakov Vayevorech Oisai. First, he spoke to him. Dibar Elo V'Rakos Saboch. He spoke with him pleasantly. He spoke with him with serenity, with the gishmak. He expressed his feelings, how much Yitzchak loves Yaakov, how he wants him. He expressed his feelings to him. But and after Yitzchak expressed his love to Yaakov, his son, and then he approached and he presented his request to Yaakov. Do a favor to me. Please don't take a isha, a girl from Nes Knam. Chofetz Chaim is discovering, saying a gewaldige chidush. It's not a chidush, but he points out a very strong point how we need to approach our kids when we want to present our request to them. We don't just present it right away. Because it's a more of a it's at majority of times it can come across the child will perceive this request, this presentation as a control, as you're controlling him. First, we have to invite the child to us. Invite by expressing our love and care to child, how really want his child, how much we really care for him, and how much we admire the child in embracing the child. And afterwards, we present whatever we would want the child to do. Also, in the presentation, the Chofetz Chaim will say, do me a favor. Do me a favor, please. Can you do so and so? So it's that's number one. Number one, when we're presenting our request to our kids, first we have to embrace the child. Embrace. It's very important for parents, just agav. It's very important for a parent to to get good words, to get good words in their vocabulary, so you have enough words to express your feelings to a child. Sometimes if I feel that in Yiddish or you can't express it, the vocabulary is not that large, so you need to use sometimes English words, or Yiddish in English is also good. It doesn't really matter. It all depends on the energy. Words without energy has no meanings, has zero meanings. It's far more important to say less words but with a lot of positive energy versus a lot of words with zero energy. Words without energy it's just a waste of time. And we need to really understand and really appreciate, embrace our kids. It's the God's gift to us. Imre Das, goes along with Chofetz Chaim's concept. Imre Das, Michael Lefkowitz, as I said once, from him already, he was probably the longest Machanach in Klal. So I think he was a Machanach for 50, 60 years, a Machanach. So he writes in Imre Das as follows: If we parents want, as our kids should accept our words, our guidance, we have to release our words benachas. Benachas means pleasantly, calmly. Because when you may hear your child, you try to educate the child. If the child will accept the chucha only, it comes out benachas, not b'kpeda, not when you're threatening the child, you're scaring the child, not benachas. Gam im ayelet shemedaber ba'azus u'bechutzpe. When a child talks bechutzpah, even he cursing, even he's saying to a parent that you're stupid, or you're a bad mother, or I wish so. It's talking chutzpah. Still, ein litzoik olav. Don't scream at the child. Don't punish the child because he's chutzpah. It's a gewaltige isoid was Ramicha Hudel saying. I'd like to take a note on that. I think we have to zoom these words. Sometimes the kids talk chutzpah. They answer back to a parent. But some kids saying a really chutzpah word, like I'll be more open, I'll be more natural with you, like saying shut up, or I hate you, I don't want you, I wish so. Certainly slams the doors. Kedoime and any kind of word a child said a child. So the traditional response on it will start to chitzpah. It becomes so angry, and sometimes the parents can get physical as well. If not physical, but they scream back and they're threatening the child. But Michael Huda is saying no, absolutely not. Even though the child behaves and talks chutzpah to a parent should not respond with aggression to a child's chutzpah, but benachas or b'ahava. Gam im hayelet shemedaber ba'azus or b'chutzpah. He's saying very aggressive words, very chutzpahdige words, and even words, very low words. Or b'derech kas, ayin litzoik olav. Don't scream, don't respond with aggression to a child of chutzpah. V'lo la'anisha, don't punish the child for chutzpah. Come down and tell the child with the ahava, with the love, and with nachas, serenity, and ahava. Atum ma'abed as a malish l'chubis nahagazu. You're such a great child. I love you so much. I care so much. These words are just not comparable to you. These words just belongs to a Schwarz. It does not belong to you. It does not belong to you. You're way higher than that. This word just makes diminishing your beauty, diminishing your shinekeit. You're such a sunshine, but this word just makes my sunshine darker. Anytime when a child talks chutzpah, don't scream, don't punish, just say it benachas b'ahava. As a gewaldige benachas b'ahava. Benachas b'ahava meaning to say, you're such a beautiful child. You're such a beautiful child. You're like, as I said before, sunshine. Every parent can create their own nusach, their own way of expressing it, and this thing just This words, this chutzpah just takes away from your beauty. Come back, go back to your beauty, and that's the way how we deal with the chutzpah. But the burim aile, when we say the pleasant words, if ali espe elusam yoiser min georas vadoim lehem, when we respond on the child's chutzpah with the pleasant manner, calm manner, these words will influence a child way more than screaming and punishing the child. So here we got the clear hoyra'ah, clear guidance from Michael Lefkowitz, which besides was a mashgiach in yeshiva, he was humongous Talmud Chacham, mamash gadol shebegdolim. It's very controversial question what parents are keep on asking. What would be if my child is chutzpah? My child talks to me chutzpah. I ask my child to take out the garbage, and the child just being chutzpah to me. I trying to wake up my child Shabbos morning to go to daven, and just answer my chutzpah, shut the door, go out, and respond. He is responding with the chutzpah. I'm trying to wake up my child to go to yeshiva, and the child being a chutzpah. Any kind of chutzpah behavior. So the conventional way how we respond on the chutzpah is, or people who have aggressive parents respond with they get physical. Parents who are not that aggressive, but they're responding verbally. They're attacking the child verbally by condemning the child, criticizing the child, degrading the child. Rami Lefkowitz gives very clear-cut guidance how we parents should respond on the chutzpah of the child. It's benachas umetoch ahava. When the child, just let the child express his feelings, let the child end with his chutzpah, and our response should be, oh sheifele, these words you're using does not really belong to you. These words really belongs to lower class people. Higher class people like yourself talk more intelligent. They use more intelligent words. They use more nicer words. These words that belong for low class people. And of course, the child will say about it. Shut the door, go out, start to scream, starts to wait it out till the child ends up his yelling, his chutzpah, and just go again. Oh, sheifele. Again, this word belongs to a lower class people. This word does not belong to you. You are upper class child. You are higher people. You are a higher person. You are a higher bucher. You have so much to offer. So, talk language which is comparable to your status, and you will see that with the time, the higher this words brings out the self quality of the child in his own eyes, and he of course when he hears the confirmation of his parents, and with the time you will see that this chutzpah language will just get lesser and lesser till it dies off. Because the reason why the child talks chutzpah, the language of chutzpah, is because he's missing that self-pride and self-quality. As we parents bring up the self-quality and self-pride of the child, as more the child will drop the lower class words, he will start to adopt more higher upper class words, words which going along with his personality. People use the words the way the people have the way the people have takes on themselves. That's the way they talk. People who are having lower take on themselves, they use lower words. People have higher take on themselves, they're using better words, more intelligent words, more nicer words. So the way how we get rid of chutzpah is not by condemning or criticizing the child, but this won't produce any kind of result. You just starts the fight, and you end up in hostility. You end up in dispute, and just it will leave the trauma on you, it will trauma on the child, we will not get anywhere. If we want to get not only somewhere, if we want to get really, really far in with the having far with the child's behavior, and besides that, if you want to get far in creating the profound, loving relationship, a loving relationship with the child, we just respond with the pleasant, the benachas ubahava, by picking up the self-pride of the child, self-quality, and the word on its own will just reduce and disappear on its own, and the child will be forced psychologically to be able to express his feelings in more of a intelligent manner, more of a cleaner manner, and a manner which belongs to his upper class status currently. So, Bez we'll continue tomorrow, talking the same subject, called